Welcome, my darling, back to another episode brought to you by the Glimmer Seekers, the What's Your Glimmer podcast. Woohoo! Brought to you by me, Annie Eclectic. I am a mama of a child with a difference. I have two passion businesses, and one of them is this. It's the Glimmer Seekers, which has the Glimmer Seekers membership. And within the membership and the Glimmer Seekers, we love to look at the different ways that we can bring out our shine in our passion businesses. One of the ways that we can do that is by looking at the different energies, nature and crystals and all those fabulous things, but also looking at the amazing things that we can do personally to retrain and rewire our brains to be happier, brighter selves, which then means we have happier, brighter passion businesses. A slightly different intro to last week's, but I don't think that I can do the whole scripted thing. You may have noticed I do just free flow and talk at you. I was told by a friend I had to stop apologizing for rambling because apparently I was not rambling. So that's a good thing. That means that I am speaking with purpose, but she believes that I was using the word ramble as a different way to apologize for communicating, and she was absolutely right. And this is the type of thing that we like to look at in the Glimmer Seekers. We love to challenge ourselves, and we like to point out in the kindest of ways the things that we do where we are putting, let's use the word of last week's episode, limitations on ourselves. But that's not what I wanted to talk about today. That's not what I wanted to talk about today. What I want to talk about in this episode is this conception, or is that the word? Is the idea that you have to be the expert. You always have to be the expert. I mean, maybe this is me and my echo chamber, because I do watch an awful lot of business creatives and people who work within business mentoring and how to make your YouTube channel the most amazing YouTube channel and all that jazz. But every time someone tells me that I need to be an expert, it really discourages me from doing my thing, because I don't want to be an expert. Is that okay? Is that all right, mate? I don't want to be an expert. I want to be an explorer. I want to be an adventurer. I don't want to fit in a box and just learn about that one thing. It puts me in mind of the saying, Jack of all trades, master of none. But that's not the full saying. And that's a saying that I used to get told all the time. And since discovering the traits of ADHD, I am undiagnosed because, quite frankly, it is incredibly difficult to get a diagnosis in the UK. The waiting list is like 3 to 5 years, something like that, and I just cannot cope with that. I can't cope with it. But we are 99.99999% sure that I have ADHD. And one of the traits of ADHD is that you hyperlearn things. So my hyperlearning tends to be within the creative world. And it's now kind of extended to the tech world as well. I absolutely love learning new tech stuff. And I would get people telling me, "Oh, you're a jack of all trades, a master of none." And I'm like, well, actually, I can do this thing just as well as somebody who's kind of spent years doing it, and I feel a bit bad about that. But I would like to communicate to you that that's not the full phrase. It's not the full phrase. I'm just going to read off my screen. So if you're watching me, I am looking down at notes. The full phrase is: a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. It's a compliment. It's a phrase that was originally a compliment, and then people who are great big meanie pants decided to just knock off the bit at the end and make people who are like myself, who are Oh, I heard a fantastic description for it. A multi-potentialite. So it's somebody who can really intensely learn and focus on something, absorb it. Honestly, there are times when I don't even do the thing. I just learn it. And my imagination is so intense that my brain believes that if I were to do that thing, I could do it. There has been a time when I truly, in my mind, believe that I opened a shop that looked like an ice cream shop, but it was actually a soap shop. I learned all the ins and outs of how to create the soap, the ratios of the lye within it and the mistakes that you can make and how you get that coloring and how you get that consistency and all those things. I know, slightly out there. But this is a thing that happens in my brain. Um, and it's an incredible thing. And if you are like me and you are one of those people, you are incredible, you are wonderful, and you are allowed. You're allowed to do this thing. It's part of you. But you will probably have noticed that through all the distractions, so through learning how to make things with polymer clay, how to do pyrography, how to do this, that, and the other. The things for me that have been consistent and have been like the river that the streams have fed into have been my jewelry making and have been my art. I will talk about my art in a different episode, I think, because that's kind of a whole different kettle of fish, to bring another saying in. But you are likely to have something that is a consistent thing for you that actually becomes like your comfort and your fallback. And I suspect that will be the thing that you will form your passion business around. And I want you to know that going off and exploring, going and picking up new talents, new skills, applying yourself, engaging with something else is such a valid thing to do. Because if you're not increasing your wealth of knowledge and skills, you are staying still. And to me, that's what being an expert feels like. And I'm sure that's a really controversial thing to say. And I suppose I have a journey of becoming an expert with my wire weaving and my wire jewelry stuff. And I can tell you, the only reason I haven't moved on to different forms of jewelry making is because I don't have the space and I don't have the money for the equipment. And I do really sincerely, I just love my wire work stuff so much. But I haven't just stuck to, you know, doing the wirework jewelry. I've then drawn in the crystals and the crystal healing stuff, and I did the intense learning of that. And I absolutely love, 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 love the crystal stuff because there just seems to be no end. There is no end to learning with that. There's no end to developing. There's no end to being amazed by the results of doing a healing session with somebody or a series of healing sessions with somebody. And it's it draws out such passion in me, and I feel like it draws out more in my jewelry making because I don't do a plan. I don't do a design. I don't write a design out, draw a design out, and right, I've got this design, I've got this concept, I've got this idea, and I have to do this. And sometimes I feel like that's not normal. And I feel like, oh, for content and stuff could be kind of handy, but it's just not the way that I work. And I'm accepting that and I'm fine with it. And hopefully other people are accepting that and being fine with it because the way the crystals, all of that works together, flows together, it creates together. And until I finish the piece, I have no idea what it's going to look like. And to me, that is a piece of magic. And if I had put myself into that rigid space, or what feels to me like a rigid space of being an expert, a place that makes me feel like there's rules, I would not be able to create the way that I do. I would not be able to turn up and shine within my passion business the way that I do, because I would be trying to fit myself into somebody else's box. So I would love to know, would you like to be an expert, or would you like to be an explorer? Or are you an expert? And maybe that's comfortable. I mean, I am talking from my own perspective. Maybe I'll find a guest. Maybe I'll find someone to chat with on this who comes from that other point of view. Because I can see the comfort in staying in a lane and having that purpose and structure, I suppose. Is how I see that, as having a structure. And I can see how that could be really, really beneficial. It's just that my brain doesn't work that way. And I would find it really constricting, and it would make me sad and wilt like a sad little flower that needs more water and more sunlight. That's not how my brain works, but I can absolutely see how it would work for somebody else. So let me know. I would love to know. Are you an expert or are you an explorer? I'm definitely an explorer. And I would love to continue to explore with you, with such a wonderful, beautiful community. And I am so excited to see where this adventuring actually takes us. Hopefully to the moon. I would like to say I'm joking, but that actually would be really, really cool. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. I hope you've got something from it. Please make sure you let me know, expert or explorer, what do you think? And if you are somebody who maybe would come on an episode and have a little wee chat with me about that, that would be fantastic. Please do get in touch. And now I'm going to do that kind of thing where you're supposed to publicize yourself. Is it publicize yourself? Basically, I'm just going to say, if you would love to join the collective, then please do. If you have thoughts and you want to chat with me, you are absolutely more than welcome to have a chat with me. Best place to find me is on Instagram. You can find me on at glimmer.seekers or at Mini Moon Arts. Either one. Doesn't matter which one. I'm open for chatting on both sets of DMs. And if you fancy just jumping in, then you just go to glimmerseekers.com website, click the button and join the club, as it were, or the collective. Okay, my darling, have a truly wonderful day. Don't forget to spot those glimmers, hold them, love them, save them for later, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.